second episode. That is correct. The second episode of Q the Convo. I'm your host, The Endorsement, and today I am joined by a titan in the food game, especially in South Florida. He is a Guinness World Record Holder, author, monster event coordinator, and all-around lover of comfort food and burgers. The list of these accomplishments is a long one, and I am very happy to have him on the show. I give you Burger Beast.
Hey, how are you, man?
What's going on? How are you, buddy?
That was such a great build-up, man.
You know, I appreciate that. I take notes from Sean Evans on Hot Ones.
Oh man, don't talk about hot stuff to me. I'm a chicken nowadays.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the second episode. I really appreciate your time, and let's just jump into it. We got a lot to talk about, some food related, maybe some not. I don't know. We'll see where the convo takes us. Are you ready to embark?
I am ready.
Let's go. So I'm just going to kick it off with a standard interview question. Even on my second episode, I'm still learning as we go. But what made you start your Burger Beast blog? I believe it was 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is correct.
I'm correct. Nice. I did my research.
And
when you started it, did you have like a following already, like in the area of South Florida? Or was it just like your love of like comfort foods, burgers, and things of that nature? Like, what got you started with the blog?
I was just absolutely miserable in my job. I was in retail management. I managed a cell phone store, and I was looking for an outlet. My wife suggested I start a food blog. You know, at that point, there were a few food blogs in Miami, and then I couldn't figure out the name. I really wanted to call it "Now That's a Tasty Burger."
Oh.
Because I love Pulp Fiction. And so she's like, you should call it Burger Beast. So she's the one who came up with the name and the idea for me to use the blog as an outlet. When we would go on vacation, we'd go anywhere. I was kind of like the one choosing not only attractions and places we were going to visit, but where we were going to go eat. So I would sit down, and back then I had to use books, right? Because, you know, even though the internet was around, it wasn't the same thing as it is now. So yeah, we go to Vegas or wherever we were at. Now it's just morphed into road trips,
right?
You know, and it's easier to find things.
Definitely. So. Yeah. Speaking of road trips, we'll kind of segue with that because I know we have talked off camera about when you were doing that trip. Tell the people about that. That was a lengthy trip. I want to say it was all burger based, or were there some others thrown in there? But, you know, explain that trip, the length, and you know, what you guys hit up and who went on the excursion.
So there's a cigar brand named Camacho who contacted me and said, we'd like to do a tour with you. And I was like, sure. The initial idea was to fly me out to cities and me compete in every city against some burger maker.
Oh.
And I'm all about the you know, the road trip aspect. So I say, hey, why don't we do it as a road trip? I was thinking what they wanted me to sign books also, and I go, there's no way I'm gonna be smashing burgers and signing books. I'm gonna be like a sweaty mess one way or the other. so you know, my wife and I went, my cousin Fred, and so the three of us went on tour in my car, and we drove, I think it was 27 days. We drove through, it was 25 different states. We drove through 30 states. We drove through 5 states twice. And so it was at cigar shops. We weren't even doing burger joints. We had a griddle. We had someone from their company who was following along. So the griddle was in there, the chairs, everything was in there. And it was a blast, but honestly very tiring. I know at the tail end we were trying to connect because I was in Lutz, which I have to try very hard to remember how to pronounce that. And that just never came to pass. And then now you try to dodge me and an excuse to not come hang out with me. So
I have no idea what you're talking about. So I guess a follow-up to that is it's almost like diners, drive-ins, and dives meets Beat Bobby Flay.
Yeah. It was. And then as we were doing the tour, I chose different burger spots or antique. My wife's into antique, so we were antiquing and stopping at old school burger joints. And it could be donut shops. It could be something in that world, in the comfort food world. So it was a blast. I mean, I wrote the list on my blog of how many locations. I couldn't tell you right now, but I mean, I think it was like 10 or 12 donut shops over the time. It was ridiculous. I renewed my love for kolaches, which is that Texas thing, which I know Bucky's has, and I think you've written about them. Yeah. I mean, written, I don't want to say written, but
Right.
And have you done hot tamales? I don't know.
No.
I don't. Okay.
No.
We gotta get you a Mississippi hot tamale.
Okay. I'm down for that. I'll add stuff to my food bucket list all the time, and then I like checking them off. Like I just did Raising Cane's. We won't discuss that. That's off my bucket list.
Do you want me to go to that post and ask everybody to come in here and comment?
No. Hopefully they're watching, but no.
I like Raising Cane's. Just as this segue is going to go, right? I like Raising Cane's. I also like PDQ, but I think Huey Magoo's might be.
Huey Magoo's is good. I'll even throw one out there. Publix. They make a mean chicken tender.
Or down here, it's called Publix.
Oh, so let's do this. Let's kind of little streamline into this. Now I'm going to say it wrong. You can correct me, and you will. But Croquetapalooza.
Okay.
I think you started it in 2014. A whole event dedicated to the item I just probably mispronounced. But what is that all about?
Croquetapalooza is an event all about croquetas. Not only croquetas, but really Miami culture and food. And croquetas, if you're not familiar with croquettes, are a big thing. They started overseas in France. And then they're Miami's finger food. You go to a party in Miami, if there's no croquettes, there's no real party happening, right? And so the most popular ones are ham. They're generally long. Most people who've never seen one think they're mozzarella sticks the first time they see them. There are round versions of them, which is more akin to what's available in Europe. But, down here, croquetas are like, what can I compare it to that they're doing? They try to make a cheesesteak version. They try to do you have a cheeseburger croqueta, and you have so essentially like 2-3 bites. It could be ham. It's usually with bechamel. That's where you get the flavor from. But they try to emulate sandwiches. Like there's a Cuban sandwich croquette, for example. So you can't say croquette, and croquetas have been around forever. And croquettes. Even Howard Johnson used to sell, when they used to do frozen foods in the 60s and 70s. If you're familiar with the chain, restaurant chain and food chain, Howard Johnson, they used to sell croquettes, and they were available. And I know that because my mom told me she used to buy them.
Oh. Nice. So what was the Palooza part of it? Like, what did you do for that event?
Oh, well, the Palooza is just, I'm a kid of the early 90s, right? So I went to Lollapalooza, and that was my thing. So it was a giant festival, and I didn't coin the phrase. It was a friend of mine who coined the phrase back in the day when we were, started blogging, and she suggested, she had a food blog about Nitza Villapol, which is the iconic Cuban cookbook author. And she was doing a post about croquetas, and she invited me over, and she referred to it as Croquetapalooza, and I was like, I want that name. I need that name. Yeah, so Christina.
Yeah.
That was the best name ever.
Love it. So with you doing that, you definitely curate a bunch of events. And at one point, because I think it ended, you could fill me in a little bit more, the museum. Talk about that, because I was actually just recently looking on your blog, and all of Burger Beast's information is going to be linked down below. But definitely check out his blog, and that website is chock full of just amazing information. And I kind of fell down the rabbit hole I was telling you the other day, watching some videos and such. But tell the people about the museum.
So, I'm crazy. And I just started buying random things that I remembered from fast food from when I was a kid, and it kind of grew into a shelf, and then it kind of grew. Oh, let me buy this fixture, and I started filling it. Next thing, once we had an office, I started filling the room. I'm like, this is out of control. Now I have rooms filled with this stuff. But then I started actually just buying artifacts, like signs off that were on the walls on these restaurants, all these things, paper goods. I had all the styrofoam containers from McDonald's, even the McDLT, because I know someone's going to ask that. I did have that. And it got so out of control, and we were doing a lot of events with Magic City Casino, and they came over and they were impressed. And I said, yeah, I mean, if you gave me a space, I'd put a museum there. And that's how it was that simple. The casino loved it. They wanted it. It was there. It ended up being there 5 years. Just prior to the pandemic, I shut it down because I was in the process of trying to open a restaurant, which didn't happen because the pandemic put a kind of stop to that thing. And so, yeah, we had the museum for 5 years. It was a lot of fun. And there is a YouTube video out there that with a walkthrough, which I know that you watched, a friend of mine shot.
Yes.
And you can see what the museum was like. It was a blast. I look at it. It was sad the last day. It was kind of like the last episode in Cheers, or one of those episodes where I'm looking back at the bar before you turn off the lights. It was literally just like that.
Wow.
The last day when I had to turn in the keys and everything.
So what did you do with all the stuff?
Initially, I was packing it. Initially packing it, and then it was just going to be so many storage units I was going to need. I started selling the pieces off here and there.
Okay.
And I wasn't just selling to anyone. I was actually very picky. So people would tell me, hey, I want to buy this. I'm like, and what? Like if I was a dad, right? I was like, oh, what are you going to be doing with that? Where's that going to be? And so Monday, I'm going to be at I'm doing a Burger Beast Burger Club meeting up in Jacksonville at Carolina Jacks, and he bought two of my prized possessions. My 1940s hamburger neon sign and my 1964 Lost in Garbage can, double garbage can. Love those things. That guy was sweet talking me for a couple of years. So I finally said, all right. All right, I'll sell them to you.
Well, you mentioned the pop-ups. You're doing that one in Jacksonville. And I noticed that you've done a couple recently. So how does that kind of work? You just pick a venue and you kind of go up and do other restaurants? Like, how does that work? How do the pop-ups work, the burger pop-ups?
There's two variations, which is what I think you're referring to. I have the Burger Club, which is what I'll be doing in Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
We go up there, we pre-sell tickets, no one knows what they're eating, and then they show up and we do a meal for them. When they get there, and I explain course by course what they're getting, the burgers, the sides, that sort of thing. The Jacksonville is going to be slightly different than what I would do in Miami because I'm bringing Miami flavor up. So I'm bringing a bunch of stuff that's made in Miami, which is really cool, and kind of show them some Miami stuff. Here in Miami, we rotate restaurants. It could be someone doing a burger instead of someone doing fries from a different restaurant. So we've had up to 5 different restaurants doing one meal. So we have someone doing cocktails or beer. We have someone doing a dessert. We have someone doing fries, onion rings, that sort of thing. Croquettes. No, we haven't had croquettes. I just want to throw that out there. The burgers. So it's been a variety of stuff. Now, the pop-ups were the extension of what I was doing prior to the pandemic. We were going to open a restaurant, and we were just doing burgers. And that we started doing in 2017 when the museum was struggling a little bit financially, and I needed some income to keep it open. So I was like, the only thing I could think of was, like, let me set up a Blackstone outside and start making burgers. Right. What a mess. We had no idea what we were doing. What a mess. Totally different now. And now we have a more professional griddle that we bought from California, and we had it shipped out to us. And it's a real deal griddle. And yeah, I mean, you can see it. We started doing the Burger Beast Burger, which has my guava sriracha ketchup. And then when we're doing we have an extended menu. So we have cereal breaded chicken tenders. We have fried apple pies. So we have a bunch of stuff. We have a flan shake. That's, watch your sugar intake on that. And it's good. It's real good. But I know someone who put 2 of them down. I'm like, I don't even want to call and find out whether that guy's alive tomorrow.
Whoa. It's like one of those.
It is crazy. He owns an ice cream shop, so I figured he's going to be. Yeah, and so Yeah, the pop-ups, and then they kind of merged, and I just started doing recently a Cruz Diablo, which is named after my grandfather, who wrestled professionally in the Caribbean in the 50s. He wrestled under mask. He was what you would call a heel villain, but yet in Venezuela he was a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So yeah. And on the website I have a little bit of history on. Not trying to do a shameless plug, but I am Cruz Diablo.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of history of him. You can see a picture of what he looked like. And we just started doing our pop-ups. We're switching them over, so Burgerby's kind of stays the entity of me writing about places, things you should check out, and then Cruz Diablo will become kind of like our food stuff. So when you see Cruz Diablo, that's our pop-up arm, I would say.
Yeah, nice. And I apologize for getting those confused. Let me tell you, this man has his hand in a lot. A lot. I didn't even have this on the list to even mention, just to kind of piggyback off that little thought process for me. Single-handedly, if any of you out there have watched my McDonald's, I shouldn't say single-handedly, but you started the movement, but getting the bagel steak breakfast sandwiches back at McDonald's in South Florida, he started the movement, got it done. It's pretty exciting. So I did mention that in my video, but this is the man that started that and got that done. So if anyone's watching in South Florida and you don't know, he got you those sandwiches.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. The truth is, if everyone wasn't as excited as I was, this would have never happened. True. Right? I hit the right nerve, and I was like, hey, I'm not the only one who wants this back. There's a bunch of people. I was the voice for everybody to let McDonald's know, hey, this is what we need back. Plus, They were kind of insulting us by having it in 3 hours away from us and not having it near South Florida.
Yeah.
Just like when I found out you didn't have it, I was like, how don't you have it? You're closer to there than I am.
And then it just popped up, and I was like, well, okay. I guess the word's getting out, and they didn't want to leave me out. But I was happy I tried it. It was definitely really good. And I'm pretty sure the people of South Florida are happy, because that is a really good breakfast sandwich. I guess that leads me into, bringing that to South Florida, and like you said, and I appreciated that too, because it takes, the wants, if the need has to be there for someone to want that. So you definitely got the ball rolling and got it back. But with the influence over the years now with the blog and everything you're doing over there in the food world in South Florida, is there one thing you're proud of the most? Do you have anything new on the horizon for the people of South Florida, or just anyone in general? Because you do have your hands in so many things, and I respect the hustle. Trust me, I respect it. Ever since I found you a couple years ago, I said I respect it. Wait, what do you like? Do you look back and you're like, oh yeah, this is my home? And what are you proud of that you're bringing to South Florida? And maybe, is there anything you can leak that you might have coming down the pike?
Without a doubt, the events, in particular Croquetapalooza, it's listed on Yelp as one of the top 15 events or something like that. That's a big deal for me, because it's really about what I grew up enjoying as a kid in a Cuban household. I mean, I was born in the United States, but my family was all born in Cuba, so it was nice to create an event around that stuff, and finding that a bunch of people appreciate. The first year we did it, I told a friend of mine, I was like, hey, I'm going to do an event called Croquetapalooza, and he's like, you've lost your mind. I was like, I just have a good feeling about this. In the first year we didn't sell out. I think we were like half sold out, and I was like, did I just really waste my time doing it? It was great. Everyone loved it. There is you can find some footage of it, and we have a croqueta eating contest here too. So that's a lot of fun, and it's not a gross out contest. It takes longer to introduce everybody than the actual event takes.
Oh, you don't put a cap on the amount of contestants?
We put up to 5, and so the limit is 10 croquetas. So the thing is, we're not trying to do a gross out event. We're just having fun. Everyone gets introduced. They get a chance on the mic to give themselves a nickname and everything. That's what I'm saying. The whole build up to the event is much longer than the actual event. Then we give them a little chain that has a croqueta around their neck.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool.
Oh, nice.
But on the horizon, my blog turns 15 now in September. And I haven't, and I haven't even announced this, but I'm doing a scavenger hunt. And it's all related to my blog. So stuff that's around town with my blog on it. You're going to have to run around and take pictures, and you're going to have to go from one to another. And I'll have people at every single location. So yeah, it's a bunch of restaurants, a lot of cool. I'm putting it together right now. We're going to be doing probably some pop-ups. I'm dying to do. I told you I want to go do a burger club over in the Tampa area.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I would like to do a pop-up over there too, and maybe I can just coincide both.
What else was the other thing? Oh, I mentioned this in the intro. Guinness World Record Holder, and I know sometimes these you get them and then they get beaten. Are you currently still a Guinness? No.
So I tried for a year to get the event together, Guinness World for largest parade of food trucks. Finally get the event together. This is April 20, 2013, right? So it was 10 years ago. And of course I chose 420, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get it. I'm super ecstatic. We went, and within a week and a half, Tampa's announces they're going to try and break my record.
No.
Yeah. But in a crazy chain, I mean, like, series of events, they start telling the newspaper that I'm trying to prevent food trucks from around the state to go there so that my record won't be broken. So someone from the Tampa newspaper calls me and it's like, hey, I want to talk to you about your Guinness World Record. I'm like, sure, what do you want to know? And they're talking to me like, why are you trying to prevent food trucks from going? I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you're trying to prevent. I'm like, look, I have no idea what you're talking about. But this guy was actually telling people that I was trying to prevent trucks from going because I didn't want. When it comes time to it, let me tell you, the casino, hats off to them. They paid the money to get the adjudicator out. They verified and gave us the certificate right there. Oh. If you don't do that, you have to send pictures. You got to send pictures of the trucks all leaving, what they all look like, and submit driver's licenses, permits, everything. They didn't do anything. So while they had more, I think they beat us by 40 or 50. They didn't do it properly, so it didn't count. So the mayor was even there, the mayor of Tampa at the time, and he made a big spectacle that they had beaten Miami. And then there was like a battle on Twitter over this whole thing. And I was like, but you guys didn't beat us. I said, hey, I'm not disputing you have more trucks, but you don't have the Guinness World Record because you didn't follow the procedures. A few months later, they had an adjudicator there. They set the record. Oh. After I talked to the guy, because I did know the guy who was putting together the event, he apologized to me and he said, hey, man, I'm sorry for dragging. And because I was like, I mean, I got totally blindsided. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean I'm trying to prevent trucks?
Right.
And, will you be surprised if I told you the guy also promotes wrestling matches? It makes sense. It makes sense. He's just trying to make a spectacle of it. And then, you know, as of maybe within the last year, he told me, hey, we should do an event. We do one together. And then we both set the record together. And I'm like, wow, man, that's old news for me. And my idea, we set the record. I'm good with that.
What's the record? What's the amount? How many trucks?
We had done 62. I think currently it's 130 something.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Yikes. All right, so we talked a lot about food. I'm going to ask this question to every guest on Cue the Convo. What is your favorite food?
What do you think I'm going to say?
If this is a loaded question back to me, is it because you brought up and I'm I say this a lot in my videos. I'm very I like the retro stuff. I have a lot of nostalgia in me. So is it the croqueta?
Kind of. So I love burgers. I do. I honestly do. I've been doing this 15 years. There's some days I don't even want to see a picture of one.
Right.
Croquetas are something I grew up in my household that was very part of, not only a family, but our heritage of from where we came from. But growing up, I would take my square little lunchbox to school, and my mother would pack me probably 3 or 4 times out of the week a ham and cheese sandwich. And I love ham and cheese. All types of ham and cheese. I will try them on any menu. I see a ham and cheese. I have to have it.
Wow.
And there's a place here called Empanada Harry's. We're good friends with those people. They make a ham and cheese sandwich. They make their own bread. It's a solid ham and cheese sandwich. It drives him crazy that I enjoy eating the ham and cheese sandwich there. And so so I went in one day and I ordered the sandwich. He tells me, you can't have it. I'm like, what do you mean I can't have it? He goes, you can't have the ham and cheese. You're going to eat something else. I'm like, you're going to live to regret this. So he was on the podcast with the Miami Herald, and it was live. And I went and I asked the food editor of the Miami Herald, asked him about his ham and cheese, and you could just tell from his reaction. And then to try and get me to stop eating the ham and cheese, he named one after me. He added croquetas to it, so it's a ham and cheese with croquetas. And I told him, I'm never going to order that sandwich. I'm only going to eat the ham and cheese. And I have a short. I don't know if I have it as a YouTube short. I know it's definitely on my Instagram, where I ask him a couple of questions and I ask him about his ham and cheese sandwich. And you can tell his face instantly switches the minute I bring that sandwich up. So if you're ever in Miami, Empanada Harry's, get the ham and cheese.
Get the ham and cheese, not the. What did he name it? Did he just call it the beast?
The beast croqueta preparada.
Okay.
Like a prepared croquette. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I appreciate your time. Definitely enjoyed having you. We had kind of joked, you and I. So I can't stress enough to definitely check out the website and the blog. If you love food, you love what we just talked about, it's definitely something you should definitely check out. And again, all the links will be below. I follow him on Instagram. That's where I found him initially. Definitely check him out on IG. And him and I were joking. So he called it, I believe, fledgling YouTube. So what's going on over on your YouTube?
Well, after the road trip, I had a lot of video content, and I tried TikTok, not really a fan, and I realized, you know what, I'm just gonna put YouTube shorts, and that's really what I do with 2010. I was telling you I have some stuff there that I just thought. I was at a diner and my coffee, I could see the smoke rising from a coffee, and I filmed, I think it was 20 seconds of it. No one's watched it. And that's perfectly fine, because I really love it. And you can see cars driving in the back, and I love that it exists. I don't care if anyone doesn't watch it. I love it. Join the club. My shorts are like crickets too. There's a couple of people watch, but most times I don't put them out too often. But I totally feel you with that. I'm going to tell you, a little disappointed that you haven't mentioned these guys behind me. Wait.
I actually was leaving that for the little outro. So, because then I think we joked too at the beginning. I'm like, my background compared to your background, there's so much going on, Frankenstein. And then, so I'm looking at.
Look at this.
Oh, nice. Wait, was that Dracula too? Is that Dracula?
That is Bela Lugosi's Dracula, yes, sir.
Bela Lugosi, yeah. What's the deal with because I just did the Grimace birthday. Yeah. Like, that's a Grimace cake?
That is a Grimace cake. Let me grab home. I'm totally confused. This reverse angle thing. Yeah, I'll get it for you. I took it out of the box and I put it here just so you could kind of check it out. But it's actually a box. And then, you want me to do the unveiling here?
Yeah, unboxing.
All right.
Who do I have to know to get on a list to get this stuff?
Oh, maybe now you'll find out. I got this. Maybe it's in this to you. You should wear this one day. Look.
Oh, a bucket.
I'll send it to you only if you agree to wear it.
I do wear hats.
I'm not an expert like you, so I don't know how to hold these things. There you go.
Yeah, fanny pack.
It looks like, look at me, how creepy I am. I also got this, which I think are glasses.
Oh.
There's nothing special about them. They're just like purple. And then there is. This is where.
We got merch.
Yeah, this is actually a nice little sweater. And I noticed I say actually a lot. Oh, there's a little French fry pin. And what do you think the last thing is? Candles.
Oh, purple candles.
Yeah. Let me see if there's anything on the other side of this. Oh, man. You ready for this?
Oh, stop. No, it's not.
That's pretty cool, man. And guess what? No one's ever going to see it because it's in my dungeon. No, actually, a lot of this stuff was, as I would get, McDonald's a lot of times sends me stuff. Thank you, McDonald's. And it will be on display at the museum. Soon, I'm going to display some stuff at an event. So I'll have things and people will come up and check them out. And please do not steal them. Please do not. You're going to have a security guard there watching.
And I guess lastly, because I'll have to get, especially with the rebranding with the sauces. So you have 2 sauces?
Right. There was 3. I had a honey mustard curry, the guava sriracha ketchup, which is the one for the Burger Beast burger. And then we have a hot sauce that was a Burger Beast, but now it's called Cruz Diablo. that one should be. I should have it available again in a couple weeks. And that one, and then the Cruz Diablo sauce, which is the one that comes on the burger, is kind of like a spicy ranch. And people are, restaurants on here use them. Even I don't think there's no Fuddruckers other than South Florida right now. But the Fuddruckers in South Florida use my guava sriracha ketchup for a chicken sandwich currently.
Yeah, that was amazing. I saw that on your socials with the poster and everything. It looked really good too. It looked. I even told you, I'm like, I can't remember seeing a Fuddruckers, but I guess in your area there's a bunch of them.
There's 5 of them. Yeah, I recently looked up that they're the only ones in Florida. There's no more.
Okay.
And and again, that's one of those brand things, right? You think they're everywhere. Like I'm dying to go to the Sunnies that you just recently posted. I just was watching the video a few minutes ago, and Sunny's the closest one's an hour from here, from where I'm at. And I'm like, how badly do I want this? But you told me there's a burger, which of course now makes me be like, man, maybe I should go find out what's going on down there.
So am I on the short list of signed autographed bottles once that those go live?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
when you meet up, and when you come down to Miami, and what are we going to review? The guava cream cheese pie from McDonald.
Yes.
Or if I can bring them to you.
Among a bunch of other iconic spots that I can't wait to try out.
And truthfully, there is no video content without my wife, Marcella. She's the one who shoots most of the content. Yeah, I do the videos and all that, but that's her. Shout out wifey.
Yeah,
La Señora Beast.
All right, so listen, Burger Beast, thank you so much for joining me on the second episode of Cue the Convo. I appreciate your time. I had a blast. I learned more stuff than, even though I did a little digging over the past couple of days gearing up for the interview. But I just wanted to say thank you. I respect your hustle, love your content, and looking forward to getting down there and definitely linking up with you. So
thanks for the opportunity. And you know what I got to say?
What do you got?
It's in the books. How you like that?
This guy.
And what about better? I knew where my camera was, and then I could have done it like. Beep, beep, beep.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And that's it. Episode 2 is in the books. And don't forget, reviews will still be coming. And I do have episode 3 guests lined up. I do have episode 4 guests lined up, and I'm working on episode 5. So these are going to come maybe once or twice a month, whenever we can make time, and look forward to those, as well as the reviews on the daily. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon with some more reviews. Bye.